Imagine for a moment your pits smelling like nothing. You don't stink after you work out. Your teenager's foot odor doesn't exist. How is this possible? It's Lumi. Challenge Lumi to keep you funk-free for 72 hours. Go to uglytruth.com/Lumi. You can pick your favorite smell, the favorite type of applicator or stick or tube or wipe, and you will be amazed by your non-smelly body. uglytruth.com/Lumi. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. Stephanie has coughed, so the show must begin.
Well, you're the one that was like, welcome to the Ugly Truth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was good.
That's usually how I sound. I'm like,
yeah, you sound like you just rolled out of bed. We have a guest, a special guest, a baby Ugg in the house.
Baby Ugg in the house.
MacKenzie is here. Our little pastry chef is in the house. Welcome, MacKenzie! Yay!
Hey, hello.
And the crowd goes wild. God, your mother's in rare form today.
Yes. So MacKenzie happened to be here when Stephanie came over to do the show, so we thought, oh, sit with us for a little bit, and we'll see if you have anything to teach us old Gen Xers. Because you're a millennial officially, yes?
I'm like right in between. I'm in between millennial and what is it? Gen Z is millennial.
Oh yeah, because
they're Zoomers. I'm in between Zoomer and millennial. I'm like right on the cusp. Yeah, 95.
And what is so you're a baby millennial or a old Zoom?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I
don't even know what a Zoom. What is a Zoom?
Gen Z is like Malia's age, 21, 20.
Like those kids in high school now. Yeah, they're Zoomers.
And we were trying to figure out what your son would be because he's 10.
Not yet 10, but yeah.
So what? Yeah. So what's his gen going to be? I wonder.
I don't know. He was born in 2011.
That's insane.
That was like yesterday.
I know, right? So your son is back in school, and I was going to ask you what I've noticed is that. This is the week where everyone's kids are sick.
Oh God. Everyone's sick. I've been waiting for it.
It's not COVID. It's just that they have zero immunities built up against each other's little germs.
Yeah.
And now everyone's getting it. Like our friend, they have 3 girls, and 2 of them are ill immediately. It's been a week of school, and they already have like horrible colds.
Yeah.
And it's because there's no immunities.
Well, he had one in the summer.
Because he went to
summer camp. Yeah.
So his immunities are built up already.
I'm hoping. I'm just literally dreading it.
Right. Well, it's very scary.
Well, for me it is because those kids can't get vaccinated. They're too little, so none of them are vaccinated, and they
traipse that in anywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and I don't know if their parents are. We kind of live in a little Trumpy neighborhood.
That's true.
So I just wonder how many of them are actually vaccinated.
And people are getting sick at your work too, yeah?
Yeah, people are starting to get flus. The people who have like school-aged kids are starting to get sick from stuff their kids are bringing home. They're more concerned about the teachers not getting vaccinated than the parents. Because
Really?
I have a couple friends who went through school and are now elementary school teachers who are like, stop the mandate. My medical freedom's more important. And I'm like, your job is to protect children.
Literally.
That is what you're here for. Of course you need to be vaccinated. It's the most ridiculous thing. And I went on like an unfriend rampage on Facebook, just unfriending all these anti-vaxxers because I'm like, why did I go to school with buckets of these people? Like, where did they come from?
I know, huh?
Same.
I'm like, was my education bad? Like, I don't
There's
understand.
only a few. No. Actually, I hope, unless they're like in the closet about it.
You know what's really funny?
They're really vax. Like, everyone's gotten vaccinated.
Yeah, I saw a meme that said, if you're getting really pissed off about all the anti-vax shit, stop getting on social media. You left your small town for a reason. I was like, well, that is true.
I just keep scrolling, I mean, and it's always the same people. Yeah. So I pretty much know who follows that
When
path.
I see someone go fake news, I'm like, okay, bye.
Well, Izzy Azalea, is that
Iggy?
Yeah, Iggy, thank you. She was quoted saying fake news this morning, as a matter of fact.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because there's rumors going around that she's dating Tristan Thompson.
Oh,
wait, they just got back together.
Chloe came out and was like, no, we're not back. Because she was just getting crucified on social media. I personally think they are back together. I just think she's like, there is no way in hell because she keeps posting all these privacy memes.
Is she just basically coming to peace with the fact that he can't sit still?
I'm guessing. I'm guessing
she's just
that
decided
she's
that
just
she's
like,
just not going to be in a monogamous relationship with her baby daddy.
I mean, I don't know what other way there is to look at it if you keep taking someone back who cheats on you like every 3 months.
Any kind of betrayal over and over again.
It's
to me, it's like, who are you?
And if you're public and these things are happening publicly, I'm like, what do you expect? Doesn't give 2 fucks about you.
I saw a video. I guess. Do you watch the Kardashians at all?
No, not
well, they really don't have
really.
anything on TV right now.
No, but back in the day, you were not a.
No, I never followed the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
you like the Jenner girls.
Yeah, the Jenner girls aren't too bad. I mean,
well, Kylie's pregnant. You knew that, right?
I knew Kylie was pregnant again. I don't really follow Kendall too closely. I don't really follow any of them.
She's so quiet.
Beyond.
She doesn't do anything on social media.
She's like, I hate all of you. I'm single model.
She has, and she's admitted this, terrible anxiety issues.
Oh.
Like panic attacks.
Oh, yeah.
High anxiety. So she has a really hard time going on social media or being being on TV, even though she's a supermodel.
Considering how much crap they get for just existing, I don't blame her.
I didn't even know she was dating Devin, what's his name? Who? You know, he was on the Olympic team for basketball, USA, Devin Booker. So he's a young NBA star, really cute.
I heard he was really terrible since he started dating her.
That's not true.
Oh, okay.
They won the gold at the Olympics.
Oh, I thought they got eliminated by France.
No, they beat France.
Oh, I'm thinking of baseball. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome, MacKenzie. So you are a pastry chef.
Yeah.
I would call you a pastry chef.
I don't know if I'm a chef just yet. I just call myself like a pastry cook or like a baker.
Yeah, that's like verbiage in the culinary world is like a big thing, right?
I was going to say,
you can't be a chef if you're not a chef.
It's so
Even though you may have been doing it for 100 years.
Well, like when you graduate from CIA in St. Helena in another year or two, which is very... I mean, we're all just so goddamn proud. We can't... It's like the fucking Harvard of pastry schools, but...
So excited.
Oh my God. Then will you call yourself a chef?
No, until I have like a chef position, I probably won't call myself a chef. Like, like Allison at my work, she's the big boss. She makes all of the desserts for like the kitchen, and Ella, she is a chef. And even my coworker Nick, who works right there with her, he makes all the pastries. Same thing that she does. Even though he's been an executive chef in the past, he's not technically one now.
Well, so he can't call himself a chef even though he's been a chef?
I'm sure that in like when he's talking about what he does for a living, he's like, oh yes, I'm a chef.
Yeah,
but as far as like what his job title is, he's not technically a chef.
So when you work with him, you don't say yes, chef.
No, we don't really say yes, chef to anyone except for the savory chefs.
Oh,
they get the chef title. Yeah, we have two men that work with us, and they wear their chef coats, and they're
very formal.
Yes, they are the ones where if they address you, you say, "Oh yes, chef," or "Good morning, chef." Or,
I love that.
I know, don't you love that too?
Yes.
I think it's great. I can't wait till she's in her whites and they're calling her chef.
I know, totally. That's what I know. Oh, I have no doubt.
My God.
It's I love all things culinary. So
we're foodies.
Completely excited for
Big bad foodies. We can't wait. Kenzie, I know I'm speaking on behalf, but you'll just answer the questions that we throw at you.
She's like, you can talk when I say. Hold on.
Yeah, so it's like I'm the chef in this house right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
She gets really inspired because you wake up because you have baker's hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get these Snapchats at like 6 a.m. and she'll show me these photos of all these books and papers that she has. That she goes, well, I'm going to recreate the Julia Child beef bourguignon, but I'm using veal instead of lamb, and and I'm going to give you some stock.
The books?
Yeah, I've got so many books.
Well, I mean, do you have the Mastering the Art of French Cooking set?
Just the first one.
Why? Is there a stigma about the second one?
No. The first one is the one that I found at Half Price Books for like $8. So that's the one that I have. Yeah, the beef bourguignon recipe's in there, and I decided that instead of she uses a lot of canned products in her cooking.
She did, yeah.
So I decided to make my own veal stock.
Yeah.
So I wrote a recipe for veal stock based off of the French Laundry veal stock recipe,
right.
Except I twisted it a little because at the French Laundry they blanch their their cow bones.
Oh.
Instead of roasting them to get a nice brown on them.
I
so
like
I'm going to
the
roast
roast.
them instead.
Yes.
But
sounds, oh my God, my mouth is literally watering.
I'm all, so when she makes it, you'll have to have some.
Yes.
Well, if it makes it beyond the doors of your home, I mean, I can imagine that's going to get like devoured.
Yeah, I make beef bourguignon once a
It
year.
takes so long, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And she only does it in the fall.
Yeah.
I do it in the fall, winter. I make it once a year, and I've done it every year since I've been living with my friend Alyssa. And this will be the last year I'm living with her, so I'm making this one like as good as I
Perfect.
possibly can. We have a friend who owns a cattle farm. And so she is actually going to be selling me all my beef bones and all of my
Perfect.
chuck. And
Which is
I'm
awesome.
I'm making enough beef bourguignon to serve 12.
So it's all organic and everything. And
Yeah, they're fed super well. They're
Well, hold
like,
on a second.
processed
You're
really
a vegetarian.
Nice. Yes, I am.
I was like, wait a minute. So do you eat it?
No. No,
But
I
you have to
don't.
taste it.
Well, she'll taste certain things, won't you?
No, probably not, because everything is going to have, just saturated in meat, so I can't even taste my stock. So I'll rely pretty heavily on, like, my boyfriend and my roommates to taste everything and let me know, like, if it needs more
That's so
salt or if
crazy.
it's, like, missing something. But,
That's pretty common, though, isn't it?
yeah, and I have only been a vegetarian again for about a year now.
Okay.
And when I was making it before I was a vegetarian, I pretty much locked in my, flavor profile.
So you think you pretty much know what it's going to taste like, even though you're not tasting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple things I make like that.
Yeah.
So, that I've been making for so long that.
You don't even have to think about it. Okay,
yeah,
so now
thank
the
God.
really important question is, how great is it to have us as your mom and aunt? Oh my
It's
God.
not too bad.
Aren't we awesome?
Yes, I mean, there are worse relatives out there for sure. So,
Yeah,
Oh my
I would
God.
agree.
Well,
I would agree.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It's true. It is true. We're awesome. Well, I mean, honestly, though, was I a terrible mother? Tell the world.
Jimmy.
I'm kidding.
No one ever answers that question honestly.
I know,
If
that's
Mom
why.
asked me, would
I
I
know.
be like, no, actually, you were terrible and you made me miserable.
I did tell her that, actually.
Yeah, but it only took you 50 years.
I know.
Jesus.
well,
Lord.
luckily, according to my therapist, I am part of the enlightened masses, so I can now look at my childhood kind of from a different perspective than I did when I was a child.
Yeah.
And I can, like,
That's really big because I still have a hard time doing that.
it's really difficult, but I've learned now to recognize, like, okay, when my mom had us, she was like my age. Like, how
Right.
would I respond to children now? And I'm like, I remember when I was nannying, and I was not the best nanny in the world. Like, I definitely was like, I yelled and I got frustrated, and
Yeah.
I'm like, and it takes a lot
Patience.
to, like, unlearn that.
Yeah,
So I'm
totally.
just kind of, like, looking at it from the perspective of, okay, well, I think my parents did the best they could with what they had and,
the
like,
time.
what they were given.
Yeah.
Especially as far as, like, kids go, like, we weren't exactly the easiest bunch of Rugrats to deal
Right.
with. So I think as far as, like, how things went, you guys did pretty well. And I definitely know friends who were a lot more... Can I swear on here? I was
Oh,
about to
God.
say.
Are you
Are you
Okay.
kidding me?
Okay, well, I was about to say, I know kids who are way more fucked up from their
Yeah.
parents than, like, me and my siblings are.
I will
Yeah.
say this, and Stephanie and I both agree that we have found that a lot of Gen Xers in our position who had not horribly horrific traumatizing childhoods, but they weren't ideal by far, is that people like us specifically have learned to break those cycles so that we don't repeat
Yeah.
those cycles.
Tried to.
And I think we've been fairly successful with a lot of
for
it.
me, it's like 50-50. I mean, I think when I was younger, obviously when I had Lauren, when you had Tyler,
we were so young.
I was really close
We
to
were
that
children.
time. Yes, I was 19.
We were
so-
still being parented, essentially.
Right.
But what's great is I've read this, and I've been so fascinated by what they're seeing now as our personal generation gets older, is that they're like, Gen X is the one. We're called the middle child generation. We're like the forgotten generation because millennials and boomers fight. Gen X does not, which I found fascinating.
That's true.
But we're also caretakers. We're taking care of our aging parents, and we're still parenting. Like,
Yeah,
we're
that's
the
true.
only generation that's doing that, and I found that really interesting. But in that regard, because of that, we have this really cool perspective where we're like, okay, we definitely don't want to do that with our kids anymore, because there was stuff about our childhood we did not like. We're the latchkey kids. We were left to our own devices and all that stuff. So, with that being
Well,
said...
and our parents were of a generation where child abuse and molestation, all that stuff was
Nobody
totally
talked,
a secret.
and you did
like,
not
you
talk
did not
about
talk about
it.
it.
Right.
You didn't deal with it.
Right.
If it happened, you're just like, okay, it happened. It's in the past. You know,
Move on, move forward.
Which, clearly, the world has evolved. Thank God. when it comes
Yes,
to all that.
thankfully.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with this new outcrop of kids my age. I shouldn't say kids; we're adults now, but people my age,
younger adults,
especially ones having kids, are really adhering to this idea of gentle parenting,
Yeah.
which I really like a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard to do when you come from a abusive family.
Yeah.
And you didn't, thank God.
Yeah.
So, but for me, it's not, I don't want to say I lean towards being abusive. I don't.
You don't.
No,
You
I
do
don't.
not.
I don't. But I do, and I still have guilt about it. I mean, like was just telling you guys before we started the show about my little yelling match with my son last night, which was totally legit for me to be. But when he started crying, and he was like legit crying, like
Your stomach
tears,
hurt.
I was crushed. I was like, I'm so sorry, you know, and I was holding it and hugging him. I'm like, why are you crying, baby? And I literally was getting like choked up about it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that to him. Like, I don't want to crush his little spirit and yell at him and make him cringe, you know, when I raise my voice and stuff like that. And I'm like, let me stop that. I'm like, but what, you know, it's a very difficult balance because he has a smart mouth. And he does.
I know.
He's like, you know.
For one word, Mom!
Because he told me, no, you're going to yell at me because I said one word? We're fighting over a word. I'm like,
Oh my God. He's like a mini you, Stephanie. Unbelievable.
you're fighting over your word.
Unfreaking believable. Anyway, so you'll be moving to Napa
Yes.
in
God,
January.
I'm so jealous. Again, jealous.
So jealous.
It's like the most beautiful place in the planet.
I'm like a happily jealous though. I'm not like a negatively jealous. Like I'm so excited for you to
Oh no, I know.
experience.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
What's
saying
your
like, I'm
biggest
jealous, I
fear
hate
though?
you.
Do you have a big fear? I mean, you're an adult. It's like there are kids that literally schlep themselves across the country to go to college at 18.
Yeah.
And you're not. Luckily, you're a little bit
I think
older.
that's better that she's older.
I definitely appreciate that I'm going in older. I was never the best at school, and so now like going into it with a different mindset, I think I can like handle school at a different capacity than I was able to when I was younger. But mostly I'm just like afraid of the big changes. I'm not a fan of change. It's not something I enjoy doing. So the idea of moving out of the house with my roommates and moving, you know. And there is the added factor of the last time I lived with this boyfriend, it didn't go very well.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of pressure this time where I'm like, okay, this like has to go well. And I feel like I'm putting this extra stress on myself for that. So
But you don't
there's
need
like
to.
a lot.
Yeah, but I get it. I'm just saying you will always have a place to fall. So
Yeah, she knows that. But
I know
get it.
I totally get it. Totally get it.
Yeah, it's a lot of big changes, like a move, and then I've worked since I was 15, so the idea of like not working and relying on other people is really
But
scary
you will
for me.
be working. It's just in a different way.
Yeah, and that's
I mean,
what everybody's
your
saying.
job will be like try to kick ass and like you're going to be learning shit and studying and trying to impress your teachers and all of that and meet people to help you get started when you're done. And I mean,
Yeah, the
you're
networking.
going to have plenty on your plate to keep you busy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, generational question because we're, you know, I'm your mom, so we're of a different generation.
Duh.
Is there anything I do not get
about
about you?
about
like
me?
Well, like because of a generational gap. Like the thing that I really try super hard is to be as open-minded as possible. You and Tyler specifically are incredibly flexible and open-minded when it comes to the world. I find myself feeling like a crotchety old lady sometimes, and I'm like, and I'm pretty open-minded, but I still feel like I'm like, God damn it, I'm not that open-minded because, you know, they talk.
You start thinking things.
Well, it's like Tyler, who's like hardcore vegan, for example, and he's just
Right.
like, Mom, you can't eat the honey, the bees, that's what they live on. What do you want to take food out of their little mouths? And I'm like, it's honey, it's excess honey. There's no such thing as excess honey. If they make it, they need it. And I'm like, all right.
Well, they farm it like anything else.
And that's cruel, apparently.
It does kill the bees.
It kills them.
Well, one of the reasons that vegans don't eat honey is because of the big industries, like you'll see those, you know, honey in the little bear containers. And what happens is they will regularly kill the queens and then replace them, or they cull the entire hives during the winter when they're not making as
Why
much
don't they
honey.
just set them free?
Because it's like when there's excess oranges in Florida, and so they send them off into the ocean to rot instead of giving them away for free. It's because capitalism.
Ew, I didn't even know that.
Right?
Yeah, it's because they make more money getting rid of their excess than they do giving it away for free.
You really can't win then, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or you eat everything.
No,
because
exactly, yeah.
no matter what, the commercialization of food in general.
Capitalism has basically ruined your good intentions.
Right.
Let's talk about the move you made.
Oh my goodness.
You don't have to go through the whole move, but talk about the incident, and then we'll move on.
Well, this is my own fault for being too nice. I was asked by my roommate to help someone move. The person in question didn't have any friends, and she was getting kicked out of her ex-boyfriend's house.
Oh.
And so she desperately needed help moving. We all agreed to go help her, and we're in the middle of this move. This boy is pulling a mattress out of a garage, and there's just a nest of little pinky rats. And they were squeaking for their mom, so young that their eyes were still closed, like little baby rats. And she was probably still giving birth when you guys were moving the mattress. They were just tiny things.
Oh my God.
And the mom was nowhere to be found, and it was horrific. We ended up having to leave them we left them in the blanket, but we put it on under a bush on the lawn, hoping the mom would come for them. But I know that she most likely did not come back for them, and I've been having nightmares about these stupid rats, leaving them behind on the lawn.
Why couldn't you leave them where they were?
Well, because it was inside someone's garage, and he was like, I don't want rats in my garage, which, fair.
I mean, yeah, but I would have been good, then you deal with it, because this is where they were, and we're leaving them there.
She was far too nice to this horrible asshole.
Oh, yeah, the boy helping us was the ex-boyfriend.
Right.
And I assumed it was to make sure we didn't, mess with anything in his house.
Yeah.
But
Take
his
something that wasn't hers.
parents' house.
And she was so traumatized. She's like, oh my God, Mom, there are pinkies. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, pinkies? What's a pinky? I didn't know in the context. And she's like, these pinky rats or whatever. And I'm like, MacKenzie, I want you to get up, tell them that your grandmother has cancer, and you must leave immediately. And she's like,
not the worst idea.
She's like, wait, what? She has cancer? I'm like, she has skin cancer on her ear, but it doesn't matter. Get out! And she's like, I said I would help. I'm like, you owe these people nothing! Get away from the rats!
I don't even know them.
No, I did not know.
And she's
anyone.
like, lesson learned. I'm like,
yeah, lesson
I guess.
learned. Last time I do anything nice for anyone.
I mean, that was really nice of you, but
see, you're even being far more nice than I am.
Well, I mean, when she explained the situations, I've been there, you know.
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, I get it. In fact, even the mom was there, and she's super apologetic and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, the mom even said, she was like, I shouldn't have come, and I was just like, oh dang.
None of us should.
Yeah, it was a long day.
It was one of those situations where it's like, honey, is there anything of value that cannot be replaced in this house? And she would say no, and be like, then get your shit and get your clothes and let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of those just cut it and run.
Yeah. But you know what? When you're young, sometimes you just don't think of shit like that.
I know.
You just think everything is important and it has to happen right now.
I'm like that too, actually.
I like that.
When I ask Daryl to do something and he doesn't do it immediately, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do it.
What do you mean? I mowed the lawn at 8 o'clock last night because I was like, well, I guess the lawn's never getting mowed. So let me go out and do it right now.
It's true.
No, I told Alyssa today, so Pumpkin Spiced Latté came out at Starbucks today, and I told Alyssa that she and I would go get it on her lunch break, and so she texted me that she's on her way, and I totally forgot that I have to blow
Okay,
her
well,
off.
you know what? It's fine. You've been with us for 15 minutes, and I just wanted everyone to hear your little voice. And when you become super famous, this will be like an iconic podcast. Remember when MacKenzie was really young and she was with her crazy aunt and mom, and they were talking and they were making her talk about generational and pinky rats?
Oh my God.
Pinky rats. Oh, but I didn't even answer your question.
Pinky rats, that's going to be the restaurant.
Yeah.
No, what?
I never even answered your question.
Generational
things that you don't necessarily understand.
Yes.
And it's not something I even understand, why my generation is like this, but it is something that I will defend. People in my generation don't really, I won't say this for men, but for women in my generation, we don't date for fun. We date for finding a long-term partner.
That's new.
No girls in my age group that I can even think of are like, oh, I'm just out here to have a good time. They're all looking for something serious. They want something long-term, especially as we're all getting closer to 30. Yeah. Everyone wants to get married.
That is so crazy because when I was your age, all I wanted to do was just have men and have them come and go. Like, literally. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
I did not want a commitment.
I went through a phase of
Well, I just
that,
didn't want a
but-
commitment. I mean, I
Yeah.
just did not. And what's
I
fascinating...
enjoyed the freedom of choosing who I was going to sleep with.
Yeah, and so like with I and you're correct in that they all settled. I'm like, why are you all settled down? And by the way, Malia, like us, total opposite.
Oh, really?
She's not interested in a commitment. She's not interested in
makes me
marriage.
feel better
Not
considering.
interested in kids. All she's like, look, I'm going to live my best life. I've got to go to school, and I might be dating this guy. I might not. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know. And it's interesting how that does jump because our parents they settled immediately.
Right.
And
the
had
first
kids
guy you met
instantly.
and that you liked, you were like, okay, let's get married.
Married your high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Ugh.
And there's always that little wedge of people that do that.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sitting in. You'll have to do it again.
Oh yeah, no, I just texted Alyssa. I don't have to go if you don't.
No,
want me
you
to.
should go. Yeah, you should
I
go.
feel bad. No, we're not getting rid of you.
No.
But I'm just saying, I feel bad that you're like burning your friend over the podcast.
It's PSL time.
Yeah, and it's your day off. Like,
Yeah. You want to sit with two old ladies? Really?
No.
No, I guess that's fair. You're not. I guess that's valid.
No, we
but
are old. Like, think about it. The difference in our ages. I mean, that's frightening.
It's like we could be your parents. So weird.
You're barely double my age.
Barely.
Barely double my age. You're only half a century old.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm not. Not yet.
I'm a prune. I'm a day
No,
old
you're
bread with
not.
thinning hair.
Oh, God.
Day-old bread. Oh my God. Yes, that makes you sound old.
I am old.
Melodramatic.
I'm old as fuck. I told Dad the other day okay, I know you hate it, and it's really inappropriate for you.
Stop it then.
But we
Don't. She's gonna do it anyway.
I know.
I'm gonna get verklempt. I'm like,
Stop it!
I'm turning red.
We had a really amazing day, and I went downstairs to go, hey, not too bad for two old people. He's like, yeah, true. I go, senior citizens. What'd you think?
Senior citizens.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk? Anyway, all right. Well, thank you for sitting in, and you will come back.
Yes, I
Especially
will.
when you start going to school, you're going to have to give us all the tea on what
So
pastry
what
world
pumpkin
is
latte
like.
do you get since you're like? How do you get it?
Okay,
Soy?
so this is like a life trick. Everyone should know to order this pumpkin spice latte for fall because
Okay.
you get a grande pumpkin spice latte and hack from working at Starbucks. I know that there's 4 pumps of syrup in there.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I ask for 2 pumps of the pumpkin and then I get a pump of chai
Ooh,
and
yum.
then a pump of cinnamon dulce.
Yum.
And it tastes like fall with almond milk.
With almond milk. Oh,
Yeah.
have they always had almond milk?
Yes.
Because I've ordered soy forever.
They've got almond, soy, and oat. And the almond is the best.
Yeah, well, I love almond
So
milk.
that's the hack.
Yeah, that's the hack. I'll
have to write that
it's
down.
definitely one of those drinks where you order it and the person taking your order is gonna be like, okay, this person either found a secret menu item that no one knows about or they used to work here.
Right.
And
So 2 pumps of pumpkin, 1 pump of chai, and 1 pump of cinnamon
dulce.
Yes, and that it tastes like fall.
We're going to put that on
And-
the
and
we're
with
gonna put
almond
that,
milk.
You know what? We'll put that on the Ugly Truth social media so people can find it.
Secret menu item by
Secret
MacKenzie.
secret PSL hack.
Yes,
Starbucks.
and it's the best way to have a pumpkin spice latte, especially since they changed their formula 2 years ago. And if you used to like pumpkin spice but don't like it now,
This will get you
This
like
will-
it.
like that.
this will get you back on pumpkin spice.
Okay, 100%. All right, fine. Well,
Yeah, I would actually drink that too because I'm not a huge pumpkin person. Like, I never get them. When they come out, all my friends are like, oh, it's pumpkin. I'm like, oh, whatever. But if it only had 2 pumps instead of 4,
Yes.
not as sweet.
I would
It's not-
probably
yeah.
do it.
Not
Yeah.
as sweet because the pumpkin is actually a sauce, not a syrup. So it's thick.
Yeah.
And so it's really like if you get it in a hot drink, it's fine. But if you get iced pumpkin, it just like sits at the bottom.
Yeah. That
Kind of
sounds
like their
gross.
white mocha.
I honestly cannot wait for fall, and I'm a summer girl. I love the summer so much, but I am so ready for cold weather.
Well,
and-
it's just been so freaking hot.
well, and it's just been a miserable year off and on anyway with everything else going on.
I
It's not
like
like
summer, but I mean,
I love
105
summer.
for a month and a half. I'm over it.
Yeah, but
Like-
I am like I asked Malia yesterday morning. I woke up and I'm like, God, I want fall to be here tomorrow. Like I'm so ready. I don't do PSLs, but I definitely do all the other things.
If I didn't have to work, I would love fall too. But I hate driving in the rain. I mean, I get really
We don't get
scared.
rain in the fall anymore. It's
It
just
depends.
breezy.
It's hit or miss. You never know. I mean,
That's
it's like
true.
every couple years we'll get early rain, and
That's
it'll rain
true.
all through. But then it just doesn't matter.
You know
Fall inevitably leads to winter, which will be rain, and I hate driving in the rain.
Fall and winter weather are only best enjoyed when you're going nowhere.
Precisely,
Yes.
which is why I'm like, you're like all looking forward to. I'm like, well, I have to work,
Well, when-
which
like,
means
on
I have
the
to get up at the
weekends,
crack of
my
fucking
favorite
dawn
thing-
and freeze my ass off.
Yeah, literally, my favorite thing
it.
for the fall is when I open up the window on the weekend and it's cold and I'm in my bed watching some shitty show.
See, I call in sick more during the winter than I do in any time of year because I look outside, I'm like, no,
I don't feel good today.
Like, I don't want to go out in that. I have to shower and get, no. I'm like, I just want to
Yeah.
stay in my bed and watch my DVR literally all day. That is
love
my
doing
favorite
that.
thing.
All right, well, have a good day.
Okay, I will. Thank you for having
love.
me on the show, even
welcome,
for a
MacKenzie.
moment. Oh, I'm so excited to
Me
see
too.
him.
All right,
Okay,
babe.
excited.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Enjoy your pumpkin latte.
I will.
Buy pumpkin spice.
Expect
Take
my
that.
Snapchat. I'll take the
Thank
chair.
you. Don't fall.
Yes. Oh my god, I
Do not
I
fall
locked
down
myself
the
out of my
stairs.
Snapchat.
What?
Yeah, so I somehow it logged me out, and then I tried to log in too many times, and it's like, now you've locked yourself out, so you need to reset your password. Well, it will only send the code to my old phone number.
Oh.
And it's like, if you don't have access to that phone number, click this. So I click it, nothing happens.
God damn it. So you have to maybe start
This
over?
has been like 6 months. I have not been able to get into my Snapchat. Yeah, I guess I will.
You just have to
But
delete and start over.
I guess.
I fucking hate that
I'm
shit.
pissed.
I
I'm
hate
like,
that crap.
damn it.
And it's like, am I old or is this just a shitty app? Right?
No, because I've tried it like 6,000 times. Like, I'll get burned out, and then I won't touch it for a month.
I do that.
And then I go back to it. I'm like, I want my Snapchat back. So I'll go
Now I
back and try
remember
to
why
do
I
it
hate you.
again.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, God,
You know what? Just
happened?
delete and start fresh. I've done that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
I've done that. God damn it, my throat. I left the window open last night and now I have allergies really bad today.
Oh my God, my allergies are ridiculous.
I woke up this morning and I swallowed and I felt like I had a sore throat. I'm like, oh dear God, no.
So did
I'm
I.
like, please, dear God.
But I
no.
think it's the smoke.
It is
California is on fire
This is
right
the best
now.
it's been in days.
For sure.
So, I mean.
But I mean,
still.
it's been plaguing us for weeks now. So
Yes.
it's like,
Yeah.
I'm never not having a stuffed up nose.
It's true. Okay, really quick, I'm gonna do the Reader Digest version of this. I have spoken on the show about the stray cat Ramone, who I
Yes.
have basically been caring for a while now. He's a sweetheart. He's the sweetest
adorable.
cat. He's cute. He's this little black and gray tabby. I've been feeding him. He occasionally has tried to come in the house, but he really doesn't want to.
Yeah.
So about a week ago, he showed up and his little face looked puffy. And I went, oh no, what happened? And so then the next night, I told Daryl, I said, I think Ramone has an abscess. And now,
Maybe he
as
got in a cat fight.
a lot of people know, is feral cats or outdoor stray cats, if they get in a fight, if they get one scratch, it will abscess immediately because
It
they're
can.
filthy
Yeah,
creatures. because
it's
there's
true.
so much bacteria. And
Yeah.
so he came the next night and it had doubled in size.
Aww.
He had he looked like he was a two-headed cat.
Poor baby.
It was huge. And so Daryl comes in, he goes, we have a problem. And I go, what? He goes, Ramone's abscess is like the size of a softball. And I said, okay. I said, well, what do you want to do? He goes, well, we can't let him suffer out in the wild like this. We have to do something. And I said, all right, fine. So we
Mr.
got
Anti-cat.
hates the cats. He's like, but I can't see a creature suffer. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
good, because I don't either. And the resolve with abscesses, especially on feral or stray cats, is it's three things are going to happen. One, it'll burst and it will clear itself up and they'll
Yep.
just look disgusting. Two, it will burst and he will get really sick. Or three, it'll burst and he'll fucking die.
Yeah.
It's one of three things. So none of them ideal.
None.
So we're able to coax him into the laundry room. We gave him food and water, a little bed, and he hid in there all night. Now, this is something I did not know was going on with the pandemic, is that every vet is swamped.
Really?
I mean, swamped. I called my vet and they said, you know what? We got your email last night. We would really love to help you. But our critical care wait list is 20 deep every day, all day, 7 days a week. You will probably have no luck. You really are going to have to take your chances on an emergency vet hospital. They gave me 3 hospitals and they said, you can call those. So I called the first one and they said, you can come, but I mean, I can't guarantee you anything, but the average wait time is 3 hours to even be triaged.
oh
you know?
my God.
So I called another one and they said, if you come in, we'll triage you really fast, but it's at least 3 hours before we can treat. And I go, well, do I have to be there? And they go, no, you can leave, but you have to be available. And I said, okay. So I went to this one. I took him in and I waited 2 hours to get him in. I literally sat in the parking lot with him in a cage for 2 hours.
Oh my God.
I finally brought him in. And then ultimately, the vet that called me when he triaged him, he is my vet at the Manzanita, at one of the VCAs I've taken my cats to before.
Oh.
And I go, what are you doing there? And he's just like, well, I mean, they need help. Like,
Yeah.
we're overwhelmed everywhere. And I said, what's going on? He goes, it's the pandemic. Everybody adopted cats and dogs.
Yeah, that's true.
And everybody's home, and they see the issues that they probably wouldn't have noticed if they had been working.
If they're working, yeah.
And so now we're just flooded with and you won't find anywhere in the country that is not like this.
Yeah, mine's the
I'm
same
like,
way.
this is horrifying. And they're exhausted, just like our
Yeah.
frontline workers. It's the same. I mean, not the same, but I
Well,
mean,
I know what you mean.
They're overworked just like everybody else in the healthcare world, and they're dealing with assholes all day.
Yeah, no shit.
Because people are so fucking rude.
They are.
And so I'm like, okay. And I said, so he goes, so is this your cat? And I go, this is a stray that I've been taking care of for a few months. And he goes, has he always been like this? And I said, no, this has only been like 24 hours. He goes, all right. He goes, well, it's clearly an abscess, obviously. And then comes the bill. And they, in emergency room world, they tell you how much it's going to cost before they do anything. Thing. And I said, all right. And so Daryl and I had a number. And if it went over it, we would have to have a discussion. So he was telling me, he was reading me everything. And he goes, and, we have to do blood work to give him antibiotics and all that other stuff. And I said, okay. So ultimately, then he said general anesthetic. I go, whoa. I go, you're going to general anesthetic a cat to lance an abscess? I've never heard of that in my life.
They're wild.
And he goes, honestly, I wouldn't either. I don't even know why this is on here because he doesn't work there all the time. He's helping out. He's like probably doing a shift. They probably agree because VCA is a big network. And so he goes, I would not generalize a cat for this. And he goes, I'm going to talk to him about this. This can't be right. Because it was going to be like $1,200.
Yeah, forget it.
And I said, I'm not spending. And I under my breath, I went, this is a stray cat. I'm like, this isn't even my cat. Like my beloved Precious.
Yeah.
This is just a cat that I just felt bad for.
Right.
So I said, look, I go, I don't want to. I said, but I'm willing to spend up to $600, which is outrageous. But I'm willing to do it because I have a credit card and I'm willing to pay that off to help this creature that has nobody to love it,
Right.
He goes, okay. So he goes, well, we'll go ahead and do it, So they call me back 3 hours later, and they're like, he did great. The doctor, and he said he did great. He goes, he really, are you going to keep him? And I'm like, well, I'm going to take care of him.
Now, after I just spent,
Yeah, I said, well, I'm going to he goes, I mean, are you going to be able to take care of him indoors? I go, yes, I have a room where he can be and all that stuff. He goes, good. He goes, he is such a good boy. Like, he's so mild-tempered and
well, maybe
sweet
he was somebody's pet and he got dumped.
Abandoned.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. He goes, now the problem is that we did do some blood work and it looks like he might have feline AIDS.
Yeah.
Or feline leukemia. One of the two. It's hard to tell which one. Either way, he goes, if you have cats, they can't be together because unless they're vaccinated.
Contagious.
And I go, well, they're all vaccinated. He goes, yeah, but if they have if he does have feline leukemia or feline AIDS, whichever one there isn't a vaccine for, if they lick or bite, he could give it to them. And I'm like, okay. So we have to keep them separated. And they're not big fans of each other anyway.
No.
So we kept them segregated. He had this big drain that they opened both ends and there's like a drain in it.
Yeah.
He goes, at the end of 4 days, you have to just cut that thing and pull it out and it'll be fine. And I said, okay, but don't wait too long. It'll heal and you don't want that.
Right.
I said, okay, fine. He goes, you think you can do that? I'm like, well, yeah, I can do it if he lets me.
Yeah,
But he's so mild. It'll be easy. So for 4 days, I gave him food. He was like, meow. And I would pet him and I'd spend time with him and stuff.
Yeah.
Third day, I'm petting him and loving on him. And he starts to like nibble on me, like bite. Like he's overstimulated.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know where you've been. And he's kind of a big cat.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know.
Cats hurt. Mine, I have one that does that.
Yeah. And I'm like,
he loves me. I'm his person. I'm his favorite person.
Yes.
But if I do that too long, he will bite me like he's a wild, vicious animal.
like a bobcat.
Yes. I'm like, ow! He'll draw blood.
So day 4 arrives and I'm like, the sun is shining. The tank is clean.
I'm going to do this.
You're going outside. Ramone! So I go in, and now he's decided he's no longer eating his pills, so he's eating all the food around the pills. And I'm like, okay, you're clearly feeling better.
Yeah.
So I go in, he comes out, and he makes a beeline to the door.
Oh, shit.
He doesn't even acknowledge me.
With that thing in him?
Yes, and I'm like, I can't let you out until I cut that thing off. So I have some scissors, and he's like, he starts to hiss at me.
Oh my God. He's like, I'm over this lady.
And I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, okay, so I couldn't get him to do it.
You're
so
like, Daryl.
I said, Daryl, can you come and help me? I've got to get this cat's thing. I just need to clip it. I don't need to like hold him down or anything.
Yeah.
And so, but every time I came near him, he would turn and hiss. And because it probably, and he had been scratching it.
Oh, yeah. Cats that are sick or ill or even when they're healing.
Well, the healing part, it was itching.
Yeah.
And so he's like, get this off. And he was getting little raw marks. So Daryl comes in. I said, I just want to like lay a towel on him.
Yeah.
And then I'll cut it.
Do it quickly.
So we're in there and he's under the bed. And I'm like, hey, Ramone. And he goes, mew, like that. And I put my little hand in to pet him. He bit me so hard and clawed me so hard. Look at this.
Oh my God.
His nail in my hand went into a vein and immediately burst my vein. He unclawed and he was like a hostile creature, unlike anything I've seen in my life. And I got scared.
Weird. Well, yeah.
I went, oh my God, what have I brought into my house?
Oh my
this
God.
wild animal. And so I'm standing there and Daryl's like, hold on. And then Daryl gets really like, I'm going to defend you to the death. He pulls the bed up so he can't hide under the bed. Now the cat's running around like an insane animal.
The door's shut, right?
Yes, the door is shut. And I'm like, honey, and he goes, whoa. And I go, what? Blood was literally gushing out of my hand.
But you didn't.
And I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it was like that thick, dark blood because it was out of my vein.
good.
And so he's like, go address that. And I'm like, all right. So I go downstairs and I do all the things because I'm like, this leukemia animal, I'm going to get sick, you know? So I've got like peroxide and I'm doing all the things and it hurts like hell.
Yeah, they do hurt.
God, it hurts so bad.
It's like
and
a
so,
knife cut.
oh my God, it was so bad. So then I come in, he goes, we went back in with gloves on.
Yeah.
And
You guys need those hot gloves.
yeah, we had gloves and the towel, and Ramone is furious. And I said, I would let him out, but we can't let him out with this string because it'll be curtains.
Yeah. We
So-
would just have spent $600
For nothing. And so Daryl he calms down and Daryl quietly lays the towel over him and he lets him do it. And then he slowly starts to cradle him. And Ramone's all, fuck you, no. And he starts hissing and growling.
Going crazy.
And he's like a pure muscle. He's
Yeah.
like, and he's wiggling out. And Daryl's like, oh, God damn it. He goes, hurry up. And I'm like, ah. And so I run over and he goes, he's going to bite you. I'm like, no, I've got the gloves. I've got this thing. And so I snip it. I'm like, got it. He goes, pull it. So I pull it, and right when I get it almost way out, Ramone goes, "Reew!" Like it must have stung a little.
Yeah, I'm sure
I'm like,
it
I'm
did.
so sorry, Ramone. So I pull it off, and I said, all right. I go, wait, don't let him go, because what if he attacks us?
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
hold on a second.
He wants out.
So we opened the door, and we backed out, and within 5 minutes, he walks out himself, walks down the stairs, and meanders right outside.
Oh, good.
Gets some fresh air, turns around, and wants back in. I'm like, oh, hell no.
No,
I'm
not
like,
after
you're
what
out.
you did, mister.
I'm like, look at this. You menace. And so I shut the door. I go, no. And I shut the door. And he sat on my little railing and stared inside the window with angry eyes for hours. Hours.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, you're not allowed. And so Daryl's like, now do you believe me that he can't be an indoor cat? I'm like, yes. I go, but I'm going to buy him a feral cat home.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it on my property, and it's wood and waterproof. He goes, oh, sorry, wood or waterproof. And he starts to squint his eyes. And I go, what? He goes,
Really?
Why? And I go, because I want him to be warm in the winter. He goes, he won't even sleep in it. I go, you don't know his life.
He might.
He might. I don't want to
He
just,
might.
I go, look, we've got $500 invested in this fucking animal. And I don't.
I'm not going to have him, die of freeze to death.
And what if he does have feline AIDS or leukemia? He'll be dead in 3 years. Like, I want to give him his best life.
Yeah.
And they only live to 5 at most.
The whole thing galls me because I have been called a crazy cat lady 4 years in our family.
I never called you a crazy cat lady.
Not literally, but I mean, everyone's been like, how many cats do you have?
I always want to know the status of their health.
Not you.
Yeah.
But everyone else. And I'm like, yeah. So, and
When you live on the river, though,
yeah.
you live by water. So do I, by the way. And there's a cat colony here, just like at your house.
You know what?
Old days.
Yeah. I got my cats in a variety of ways, mostly from people, from our children who got animals they couldn't care for.
Yeah.
And then didn't know what to do with them and didn't want to take them to the pound. So
I've got 2 of those.
Yeah. So you know how it goes. And
I've got one that our mother gave me.
Mom had a cat.
Mom's mother-in-law had a cat, and she's like, it doesn't like my dog, and gave it to our mother to give to somebody, and she gave it to me.
Who is it?
Angelica.
Oh.
Angelica Pickles.
Yeah. God, I just forgot that's how you got her.
Angelica Pickles, and then the other cat I have is our MacKenzie, who was just here, our little pastry chef. She couldn't take care of hers anymore because it was so miserable that I had to take it back.
That's how I got 2 of mine because of Lauren. She couldn't take.
Yes.
When she got married, they just hated Richard. They peed all over his clothes.
Yeah, and he was doing the same. So I took him because I'm like, she's like, what am I going to do? I'm like, you're going to give me the cat.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and of course in Daryl, I mean, hate is a strong word.
Yeah.
But he is not a fan of cats in general.
I know.
He was not raised with them, and so
Right.
he's just not a fan. I think the reason that I love having cats is because we weren't allowed to have cats.
Right. That's true.
And
well,
so-
I mean, and we've always been animal people.
Love.
Yeah, especially me and you.
Yes,
and
hardcore.
So,
And I just think it's great to have. I think animals are important in anybody's
I
life.
love animals, and I have to say, I never, like you said, we never had a cat. I didn't know what cats were like. I didn't even think I was missing anything until I got one that I really loved.
When you get a good one, it's hard to.
Yeah, like my cat.
Yes. Is that Mittens? I mean socks.
No, Socks is actually not mine, but
Oh.
Jill found him
Okay.
with a litter. But I do love Socks. But no, my cat, I got to replace my other girl cat who had diabetes. She was only 3.
yeah.
She got diabetes and she died really young.
Yeah.
And I was so sad. So I
God,
ended
it's
up getting
true.
a kitten, and I replaced her with him.
Yes.
And he's now 14, and I absolutely adore him. The thought of something happening to him or him getting old and dying just literally crushes my soul.
I hate it. I hate that cats
Yeah.
die. I hate that animals have to die before.
Yeah.
Like, why can't they live as long as humans?
I know.
I hate it.
I mean, and
Like, I mean, turtles live for 200 years. Why can't cats and dogs?
so do like macaws, like certain birds.
Oh my God, we have a friend who has a white macaw that's like 60 years
Yeah.
old. No, not that old, but old. Like 30 or 40 years old.
Yeah. I have a friend who died who he even said that. He's like, this bird will outlive me. Wow. And it was like 40.
Wow.
And he did, because Alvin's dead. He died.
Oh my God.
He had a heart attack. And so,
you have to like will those things.
I don't even know what happened to it. And yeah, because his was mean. I mean, it wasn't mean to him, but they're big and they are smart.
Those beaks are serious.
They are. And so, he was the type that if you were standing too close to the cage, even if you weren't like looking at it, if you were
Would it like attack you?
it would try to get through the bars to get you.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, no, some of them are like that. They're
Oh,
mean,
no,
and it
I know.
swore,
I
it
know.
said bad words, and
It's true, it's true.
But then it would say really cute things to like draw you in, to be like, oh, and then it would do something terrible. Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
So
Like
I would never
Ramone.
want a bird.
Yeah, so now I look at Ramone differently.
I bet
and
you
I'm
do.
Just like, God, I'm like, no good deed goes unpunished in this world. Ever. Never. Ever.
Well, I mean, you know what?
That's why the good die young. That's why the nice guys
I know,
finish
right?
last. All of the things.
Sometimes when you take an animal on like that and you can't understand, God, it's the cutest cat, it's so sweet, and this, and then
they turn on you.
and then you see some behavior in it, and you think, you know what? I wonder if this is the reason why the family. Not that what they did was right; it was totally wrong. You don't
Right.
abandon an animal because they
No.
have behavioral issues, but you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take it to a shelter before I would just leave it to fend for itself on the streets.
Right? Yeah. And the thing is, there's so many rescue groups now. There are
Yeah.
so many. And I know that they're all overwhelmed right now.
They are,
But
very much so.
But under normal circumstances, if we weren't in the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
they would probably be happy to take this little guy. He's so sweet
Yeah.
in general. But what he really needs is he needs to be fixed.
Yes.
He's not neutered. So he does need to be clipped.
Yeah, for sure.
And he needs vaccines. And I told Daryl, I said, well, I definitely want to get him fixed because I think that'll help
That's cheap too.
his thing. And Daryl's eyes narrow again. I go, what? He goes, how much is that? And I go, there are cat clinics and cats are always free because there's so many.
They're not free, but they're really cheap.
They're like $5.
I did it at the SPCA on
Yes.
close to our house. They
Yes.
do it for $29.
They and males are usually cheaper. And
Yeah.
some months they're free. Because I just
Yeah.
read a thing, SPCA in our area just posted that all neuters and spays are free in September because someone paid.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
And it was awesome. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
it
that's
is.
great news. So if
Isn't
I can
that
get
a great
him in,
way? Like if you were really, really rich and
Yes.
you wanted to give, I would totally do that.
if I can get him in, I'm getting him snipped.
Or people will go in and like pay for all the adoptions. The
That has
adoption
definitely,
fees.
yes, that does
Where
happen.
they sponsor the cats and say, you know what, I'll
Yep.
just pay for the fee so whoever adopts them
Yes.
doesn't have to pay anything.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And it's easy and it helps so many people.
It does. Well, I mean, when you adopt from a shelter or SPCA or something like that, they're fixed. They
Yep.
have their shots.
Yep.
I mean, you really get all the things that you would have to get if you
Yeah.
had a kitten on your own, and it would cost you way more than the
And not
$80
only,
bucks
and
or
not only that,
whatever.
but they give you a coupon for your first checkup.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
I mean, it's all anyway.
It's just the best deal. Yeah.
it is.
If you're going to get an animal.
But right now, I was just like, I can't, And so now when he looks at me, he's got the angry eyes. I'm like, be angry all you want. You're alive. God.
And you're no longer suffering with your abscess.
And you would have been suffering. He couldn't even eat.
Poor baby.
I know. And I'm like, you know what? It's like the most ungrateful little asshole, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I'm glad you did it.
Me
that was
too.
really kind of you.
Okay, so we're running out of time, so let's do our ugly and awkward moments.
We've talked about this before, about talking unnecessarily when it's not required. Oversharing.
Don't like the quiet, so you say something dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we had a meet and greet for my son's teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And, one place that you can kind of be awkward and maybe it's not as noticeable is at an elementary school full of children and teachers and other parents and stuff.
All walks of life.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, there's always things happening. And so we went and met the teacher. That was all good. And then we went and got my son's popsicle, which was at a different part of the campus. And then we had to walk back by his teacher to leave to get to our car. And as we're walking by, she was standing there, and I can't remember if she was talking to someone else, but I was like, well, bye, Mrs. Lyons. I'm like, it was really nice to meet you. We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And she just, it's like she didn't know I was talking to her.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And so she just kind of looked up like, huh?
Me.
Yeah. Totally. So, of course, I just keep walking. I'm like, you're such an idiot. I'm like, why did you have to say that? You already met her and said, see you tomorrow. Why did you have to say it again? Because you were walking by?
You know what? I actually was awkward at your son's school as well.
At my son's school?
Yeah, when I had to pick him up.
Oh, that time?
You had taken your husband to an appointment and it was running late and you're like, please, please, please. And I said, no
he's
problem.
having surgery.
I said, no problem. I'm happy to get him. Every person was notified that I was coming, so it was not weird.
No, you're on the emergency.
They literally walked me to his class.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a male teacher was doing the after school thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Which I think it was your son's teacher who he really likes, right?
No.
Oh, it was somebody after
No,
school.
it was Mr. Levi.
Okay. So I walk in, and of course, I can't just walk in and be like, hello.
And Mr. Levi's the coolest guy ever.
He was so cool. They all loved him there, all the kids.
Yeah, they loved
him. But I
him.
walk in, I'm like, hey, so I'm like, hello, I'm here to get Jeff. And I could not remember his last name.
Jeff?
Because I was saying minor.
His dad. You were saying minor.
Well, at first I'm like, hi. And so I'm like, and then of course, because I'm a moron, I said, oh no, I'm not. I swear I know him. I'm not kidnapping him. It's just like being at the TSA going, I swear I don't have a bomb.
I don't have a bomb in my shoe or anywhere else. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll take your shoes off.
God! And so he gives me the side eye and starts looking me up and down. He's like, Jeff, is this your aunt? And she's like, he's all thumbs up quiet because,
that's Jeff.
And the thing that sucks is that Jeff is very reserved.
He can be, yes.
And I have not spent his entire childhood with him. And
right.
so I've seen him enough that he knows who I am.
Of course.
But not enough for him to go, Aunt Jamie! He would not do that. And that's not who he is anyway.
And you know what? It's for kids, and when something is different from their routine, they do get quiet. So he was like, why is my mom or my dad not here?
Right. And so...
And he didn't know because I couldn't tell him.
No. And so
he was probably confused.
And so, there's a lot of, I'm like, well, his dad had an appointment, and it's running late, and she asked me to come, and the office knows. And I'm like, I'm really making it far more difficult. And so I finally left him like, I'm so glad that's over, and I hope I never do that again. I'm like, can't I just walk in casually and like a normal person?
Be like, hi, I'm here for my nephew.
I mean, would have been worse if it had been like, hello, Miss Lady, how's it going? And I feel like an idiot trying to, use humor. God.
That would be me.
No, my awkward moment is actually fucking hilarious. I made my own self laugh.
Oh, God.
So... This was a couple of days ago. We have been doing a ton of work around the house. We had let our house go. There was dirt everywhere. It was just unacceptable. There was laundry. You know how that goes.
Oh, like mine right now, yeah.
And then I came downstairs and I said, that's it. No more takeout, no more booze. We're cleaning.
Yes.
That's it.
We're living like heathens.
We are not children. Get up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Kit, I'm Amelia. Unload the dishwasher. And she's like, what? I'm like, you heard me. She's like, Jesus, okay.
She doesn't do that?
Not really, because she's never here. So,
Right.
Anyway, so I finally did all this work. It's like 3:00 in the afternoon. I said, I must cleanse myself.
Yeah, I've got to take a shower.
I'm offensive. I'm offended by my own self. I must bathe. And Daryl's like, okay. So I go upstairs, and before I'm waiting for the shower.
Like, oh, finally.
Yeah, she's finally off her warpath. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so we can sit down for 5 minutes.
Save do whatever you gotta do, babe. It's fine. Stay up there as long as you need to.
They're shoving sandwiches in.
Self-care.
We're hungry.
Self-care. here.
Yeah.
So I'm upstairs and I'm looking at Facebook and I'm looking at all the things and I'm turning on music. And then, I'm blind, so I need my glasses for all of this. So I'm fully naked and I'm standing in the bathroom just waiting for the water to warm up. So I finally get in and I put my phone in this area so I can hear the music. And I'm in there and I'm washing my body and I'm singing and da-da-da-da. And all of a sudden I go, I can't see. And I'm like, I left my glasses on the entire shower. Until
I was like waiting for you. I'm like, what?
Until it was time to wash my face. And I'm like, why am I unable to see anything? And I'm like, oh my God. And then it reminded me of that movie that I absolutely love.
We love.
That no one ever talks or
I
hears
know,
about
right?
because it's from like 1980.
So old.
Best Friends
Yeah.
with Burt Reynolds and Goldie Hawn.
Which is hilarious, by the way.
And there's a scene where Goldie Hawn's in the tub questioning why she got married.
No, her mother.
Oh, her mother.
Oh, no, you're right. She was in the tub. The mom was sitting next to
And
the
she's
tub.
talking, all of a sudden she's like, Paula, I've gone blind. And it's because
I've gone blind. She just says it very matter-of-factly.
because she's in a steamy bathroom. And I'm like,
And she has
suddenly
her
like, why
glasses
am I?
on, yeah.
I had no clue that I had glasses on.
That
and
is
I'm like,
so funny.
This is ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it
And then
is.
I told Daryl, he's like, wow, that's really good. And I'm like, I know.
No, that is. I've not
anyway.
done that yet.
I hope I never do it again.
But I have tried to, because I'm so blind, and like when I'm trying to put on eye makeup or do my eyebrows or whatever, I try to do it with my glasses on.
Can't.
Or if there's a zit that's really close to like where my glasses are.
You'll go under the glass.
Yeah, I'm like trying to like use the tweezers under my glass because I can't see it otherwise. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
I'm getting you a magnifying mirror.
I was just about to say I should get a
have
magnifying
to.
glass. That way I can hold it
No,
in my
you
hand.
need a magnifying mirror.
Yeah.
I
So,
use it all
okay.
the time for everything.
Yeah, God.
And you know what, Stephanie? I swear to God, you'll put on your break and be like, I go out looking like this?
I know.
How come I don't blend? What's wrong with me?
I know, it's so true.
Look
I've
at
done
this.
it because
Yeah.
then when you do put your glasses on after you put your makeup on, and if you don't
you
look
miss-
at yourself,
Yeah.
and I never do it. I usually just do it and then I put my glass and I leave,
And then people go,
and then everybody else knows, but me, I'm like,
isn't that funny how Stephanie wears lipstick above her
I'm
lip?
so blind. Yes.
Did you see her eyebrows today?
Oh my God.
I know. So true. Anyway, all right. Well, that's
Yeah.
the show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for enjoying my our daughter / niece.
That was fun.
She's Presh.
She
and,
is. She's one of my favorite humans ever.
I mean, legit. Well, it's funny because she always says, she goes, Aunt Stephanie's my spirit animal.
I am.
I know.
She's mine.
I know. You guys are like little
She's just.
kindred
She's better
spirits.
than me though. She's so kind and sweet.
She's very kind.
Yeah,
She's a very
I mean,
kind, sensitive human. It's
she
crazy.
is.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Which I love about her. Maybe that's why I love her so much.
Well, it's funny because I tell Daryl and I will have conversations, and his daughter Natalie is a lot like her mother and her father. My children are exactly like me, and shockingly, Malia is like a second twin of me.
Really?
She may not look as she's way more beautiful than I am. She's stunning, but physically,
yeah, she is.
but personality.
I mean, not that you're not. I'm just saying, but Malia is.
She's gorgeous. But all my kids are stunning. Actually,
Yeah, that's true.
But her attitude towards life is just like me, and I'm like, this is fascinating because
Especially because she's so young.
Tyler and MacKenzie are the biggest hippies I've ever seen
know,
in my
right?
life. Kenzie's like, I think I could homestead. I'm like, no, you can't. And Daryl goes, tell you what. He goes, I'll sign off on you homesteading, making your own food and canning and gardening and all the garbage you think you're going to do, Miss Vegetarian. I said, he goes, stay at the Ritz in San Francisco for the weekend and then order room service. And then tell me you want a homestead.
There's no way. Yeah.
You won't do it.
It was so funny.
He goes, you are your mother's daughter.
It's
Don't
true.
forget.
We were talking, Jerry and I we finished the new season of Alone just ended. I don't know if you guys watched it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the next show.
Okay, and so after it was over, because Jerry and I binged it because we hadn't been watching. I think I watched like the first couple of episodes, so then I binged the ones all the ones I had missed, and it was like the night before the finale.
Okay.
So I go, yeah, there's another show. I go, because you're the one that got me on that show.
It's so good. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
but I never thought I would watch a show like that. But
Me
there's
neither.
bazillions different kinds of
Yes.
wilderness shows,
There is.
right?
Yes.
And something for every person's palate.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I said, well, Jamie's on this other one right now that she's telling me it's called Homestead Rescue,
Mm-hmm.
and she says she really loves it. I'm like, and I'm thinking about maybe watching a couple episodes to see if I can get into it.
Yeah.
Because I really never thought I'd like Alone.
Right.
But I love it.
It's
and
amazing.
Jerry loves it way more than me.
It's way good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you watched Homestead?
no, but he's like, well, what's it about? So I was telling him what you told me about what it's about and that kind of thing. And I go, yeah, it was funny because when Jamie was explaining the show to me, she was like, yeah, I think I could do that, but it would have to be, it's the dirt and that stuff. And he goes, who said that they thought that Shay could do it? I go, Jamie. And he looked at me. He's like, he just started cracking up laughing. He was literally like laughing really hard. He's like, yeah, right.
I know.
I go, I know. And he doesn't even know you as well as like, me. And I'm like,
well, you're just taking me at my word. Like, no, Jamie knows her thing. She knows what she could do.
No, I knew when you were talking. You're like, but I also knew in the
hilarious.
context we were talking about it. Like, we're not really talking about doing
Not
it.
for real. I'm never giving up my life. No.
But we're putting ourselves in the shoes of these people we watch on TV, thinking we could possibly think like them.
They are skilled carpenters and foragers, and they take care of actually, the last straw on the homesteading thing was that they care for goats, which are really cute and everything, but they make everything with goat milk, goat cheese, and I hate all of it. I
know
hate
you
it.
hate goat anything.
Why would I want to do that? Never.
You wouldn't, yeah.
No. Never. And unpasteurized sheep's milk makes my tummy ache. So I can't do sheep. I can't do lamb either. So
You've had sheep's milk?
yeah.
Oh God.
I went to a sheep farm.
You guys are way different.
Okay, we'll talk about it. when
Your
we talk
kids
about
are
them.
different. You guys are different. I'm always, it's like it's exciting, something new every time I come here. I'm like, what?
This is why
Why would you drink sheep's milk? Why? And why would you drink unpasteurized sheep's milk? Are you crazy?
It was cheese.
Okay, well, that's a little different.
Yeah.
I thought you were like drinking. I'm like, you don't even drink milk.
No, I hate milk. Okay, I don't even like almond milk. I hate all milk.
Is it because it's creamy?
It's just milk.
But I mean, almond milk isn't really milk.
I know.
It's literally chopped up almonds and water.
When I thought I could homestead for 5 minutes, I made almond milk. It was.
You did?
I did. Oh my God. It was disgusting. Anyway. All right. Bye, everybody. See you next week.